Let's go! Attack! 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 Set alert! Set alert! Set alert! Set alert! Set alert! Come on! Set alert! 34!
In 1986, Bengal football was characterized by the most exciting offense in the NFL. The season of '86 began with a glittering promise that the Bengals would bring a division title back to the banks of the Ohio for the first time in 5 years. Inside Riverfront Stadium, General Manager Paul Brown, the man with the most distinguished coaching record in football history, combined with the youngest coach in the NFL, Sam Wyche, to assemble a squad capable of challenging anyone in the league. Now, as the '86 season began, Wyche's men had to put what they learned on the practice fields onto the playing field. In the home opener, Boomer Esiason, with the leisurely pocket time he'd enjoy from his offensive line all year, threw for 259 yards and a pair of touchdowns to Eddie Brown, number 81. But at the end of regulation, the game between the Bengals and Bills was tied. Then in overtime, Cincinnati's defense came up with a game-winning play. Play action, back to throw, Kelly. Fires it downfield, it's intercepted by Zander. He's down to the 25, plunges to the 20, and he's 17-yard line. Carl Zander, he looked like a fullback out of Tennessee. Linebacker Carl Zander's clutch interception only 56 seconds into overtime spelled sudden death for Buffalo. A 20-yard Jim Breach field goal gave the Bengals a thrilling come-from-behind win, the first victory of the new season. Only 4 days later, the team traveled across state to Cleveland for a Thursday night encounter with their division rivals. Right from the outset, it was no contest as the defense buried Bernie Kosar and company. The Browns' offense did not score all evening. In front of a nationwide TV audience, the Bengals' rushing game piled up 257 yards, fourth best in team history. Scatback James Brooks gained 118, including this 53-yard run. Contrasted to Brooks' speed and finesse was the bruising power of fullback Larry Kinnebrew, who rushed for 94 yards and 3 touchdowns. It added up to an impressive 30-13 win for Wyche's men and provided the perfect setting for Paul Brown's 500th game in pro football. In victory number 3, the ground game ran to daylight against the Packers, but it was a near flawless performance by Boomer Esiason and the air attack that controlled the game. The young quarterback had no interceptions and 3 scoring passes, 2 to number 80, Chris Collinsworth. Next was a Monday night matchup with division rival Pittsburgh. Again, Esiason was afforded ample time to pick out his receivers against the once impregnable Steel Curtain. Both tight end Rod Holman and rookie wide receiver Tim McGee caught touchdown passes. But despite the heroics by Boomer in the attack, this game was won by the special teams on a gutsy trick play. Ed Brady with a good snap, and this time they kind of peel back. He's going to run. He's at the 40-yard line, the 45 to the 50, to the 45 to the 40, and he's going to go all the way. Jeff Hayes out of punt formation runs 56 yards for a touchdown.
Bill, I think that was this noise every time when they punt. It's blocked. I'm going to run the football.
While win number 4 was a 2-point squeaker over Pittsburgh, victory number 5 was a last-second thriller over the Oilers. Houston had a 4-point lead with less than a minute left in the game, but this Bengals bunch refused to fold. Boomer pulled the trigger, and James Brooks exploded through the Houston defense.
He cuts down to the 15, down to the 10, touchdown! James Brooks, a 21-yard run, burst right through a tackler, and the Bengals have come downfield in exactly about 40 seconds to take the lead at 30-28.
With their second consecutive squeaker against a team from the AFC Central, Cincinnati had taken over first place in their division with a record of 5-2. In the Silverdome, the defense made its presence felt, pummeling Lion quarterbacks all afternoon. Top draft choice Joe Kelly, number 58, had 4 tackles, a sack, and a key interception that led to a touchdown. Once again, the Bengals ran wild, piling up 220 yards on the ground. They were paced by James Brooks, 120, including a romp of 54 yards. And when was the last time you saw a quarterback throwing the key block on a play? When Larry Kennebrew barged into the end zone with 40 seconds remaining, Cincinnati had win number 6, and with the Oilers up next, a clear shot at the division title. But in Houston, the Bengals unexpectedly came up short and lost by 4 points.
34! Set!
But Boomer and the Bengals bounced back with a resounding win over the Seahawks. Esiason had a huge day, completing 22 of 33 for 335 yards. Against Seattle, the attack shared center stage with a raging defense that stifled Kurt Warner on the ground. When the Seahawks went to the air, Cincinnati simply picked up the pace. The defense caused a flurry of turnovers, 2 of which were turned into defensive touchdowns by number 73, Eddie Edwards, and Lewis Breeden. The big win over Seattle brought the Bengals back into first place in the division race.
This one is intercepted by Breeden at the 35. Down to the 30, the 25, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
In 3 seasons as head coach, Sam Wyche's offense has rewritten the record book with its never-stop attack. As befits a former quarterback, Wyche knows the value of a strong offensive line. The home of the Cincinnati Bengals was also the home of one of the league's largest and most effective forward walls. To a man, they were a big reason Wyche's attack ranked first in the entire NFL. This year, the Bengals had 2 All-Pros on the offensive line, number 78, Anthony Munoz, and guard Max Montoya. Bruce Kozerski, number 64, Joe Walder and Brian Blados, as well as highly regarded center Dave Remington, number 50, round out a unit that gave the Boomer all the time needed to unload his left-handed darts. Last year, Anthony Munoz had the rare distinction of catching a pair of touchdown passes on tackle-eligible plays. The Bengals' young, improving offensive line is the foundation on which the league's best offense is built. One of the league's youngest quarterbacks is their leader.
The primary job of all quarterbacks is first and foremost to be a team leader in a huddle with 10 other guys, and they're looking at you and they want to know what we're going to do now.
Strong right, Z left. 46A boss, on two, right? Got that zip walk.
And you're the guy that has to make that decision. Obviously, it comes from the sideline, but you're the one that has to pass it on to those guys, and you're the one that has to pull the trigger.
Boomer pulled the trigger often and accurately, as the Bengals' blitzkrieg attests. But Lucky 7 isn't just a quarterback. He's an athlete.
You have to be bigger to be able to take the hits. You have to be able to run. You have to be able to move.
At wide receiver, Esiason chose from 3 #1 draft picks as targets. Veteran Chris Collinsworth is a steady All-Pro. While only in his second season, Eddie Brown, with his 4.4 speed, blossomed into the big play, deep threat that he was drafted to be. Behind this pair waits still another blue chip, speedster Tim McGee, one of the fastest players in the game. In his rookie year, the sprinter from Tennessee learned patience and made his mark on the special teams. He was the league's 4th best kick returner.
There's one of those long ones we've been waiting for Tim McGee to break. That is a 95-yard kickoff return by Tim McGee, and the Bengals are right back.
Number 28, Larry Kinnebrew, personifies power. Just ask opponents who tried to keep him out of the end zone, a feat they failed to do 9 times in 1986. Compared to Kinnebrew's power, number 30, Bill Johnson, was a change of pace at fullback, a player who could break a tackle and get outside for a long gain. Bill Johnson was another reason the Cincinnati ground game was best in the league. When it came to heroes on offense, there was no one who stood taller than 5'10", 180-pound James Brooks. In his remarkable 1986 performance, Brooks was an All-Pro at blocking, running, and receiving. In his 3rd year with the team, the multi-talented Brooks broke every record any way he could with a whopping 1,773 yards from scrimmage. James Brooks, the most exciting member of the most exciting attack in pro football. While defense was hardly a team's strong suit, this unit did have its moments. But if the team is to re-enter the playoff picture for next season, it must get improved performance, especially at defensive end, where number 79 Ross Browner and number 73 Eddie Edwards reside. Next year, they'll be joined by number 1 draft pick Jason Buck and last year's promising number 3 choice Jim Scow. Number 69 nose tackle Tim Crumry played like an all-pro without all-pro recognition. His quickness and hustle should earn him that honor soon. At linebacker, 12-year veteran Reggie Williams is the leader on and off the field. He heads a group of talented youngsters that include last year's top draft pick, Joe Kelly, number 58, who despite a late start, proved he's a top prospect. Joining Kelly in the middle were Leo Barker and Carl Zander, both punishing hitters. In only a second pro season, number 90, Emmanuel King, a former number 1 pick, led the team in sacks with 9. The Bengals linebackers, spirited and talented with their best years still ahead. The same can be said for the secondary, where 10-year veteran Lewis Breeden had the leadership role. Barney Bussey came to the team from the USFL, and number 27 proved to be a strong defender at safety. Another rookie, Lewis Billups, number 24, started 12 games at cornerback. But the newcomer who had the biggest impact was the biggest defensive back in the league, strong safety David Fulcher. At 6'3", 228 pounds, Fulcher hits like a linebacker, but has the range of a DB. Number 33 was the most exciting addition to the defense in 1986. In Week 12, Fulcher and the defense held Minnesota scoreless in the second half. After the offense, it exploded for 21 points in the first half. Although the win kept the Bengals in first place, a stormy period followed in which the team lost 2 critical games. Amid the gloom of snow-flecked Mile High Stadium, Boomer and the Bengals shredded the highly rated Bronco defense for 426 yards and 4 touchdowns. But on this dark day in Denver, a flurry of fumbles saddled Cincinnati with defeat. The most critical came on a bad center snap with less than 2 minutes remaining. The loss to Denver dropped the Bengals into second place behind the Browns in the AFC Central. 2 weeks later, in a Sunday showdown at the riverfront, Cleveland applied the coup de grace. The Cleveland Browns, not the Cincinnati Bengals, were champions of their division. Sandwiched around the 2 defeats were twin victories which accurately reflect the bright future of this team. In Foxborough, Sam Weich watched as his young band of Bengals completely dominated the Patriots. Cincinnati gained a club record 584 yards with an awesome display of offense that included a record-shattering 300 yards rushing. James Brooks led the assault with 163 yards, and Stanley Wilson with 120 was close behind. Both backs pulled off 50-yard touchdown runs.
It's 3rd and 2. Handoff is Stanley Wilson. He has it. Breaks into the clear. He is going to go down to the 30, the 20, 10, 5 touchdown. Stanley Wilson, a 58-yard touchdown run. Boomer gives the ball to Brooks. Runs into the right sideline. Cuts back at the 50 to the 45. Down to the 40 on the far side of the field. He's going to be running. No, he's still 20, 15. 10, 5-yard line, still on his feet, plunging, touchdown. Oh, James Brooks just absolutely refused to go down. I thought he was knocked out of bounds. There is a
Brooks' incredible 56-yard journey was one of the most sensational plays in franchise history. With the 31-7 thrashing of New England, Cincinnati completed a string of 5 straight games in which the offense gained over 400 yards. The most impressive win of the year came in the season's final game. The playoff-bound Jets could only watch helplessly as the Cincinnati defense dismantled their offense. As usual, the spotlight belonged to the Bengal attack. It was a 5-touchdown day for the Boomer.
As Boomer goes back to throw, goes long this time for Collinsworth. He has a touchdown! Boomer back to throw. Quick shot to Collinsworth, touchdown! A quick slant, and he beat Russ Carter.
On an afternoon that will long be remembered, the record-breaking Bengals gained 621 yards, scored 52 points, and won their 10th game of a season in which the word attack took on a new meaning.